Music manga isn't something I ever really explored before for various different reasons. However, for the first time I decided to check one out, so I went with one that I liked the anime for a lot, which was Anonymous Noise. Now, if you've never heard of this series, then you're missing out on an incredible story about three people discovering themselves through their love of music. This manga is a roller coaster of emotions from start to finish. This series builds upon the intensity of what it is doing through the intricate storytelling and its ability to make you feel for all of the characters. Even though I couldn't hear any of the music in this manga, I was still able to feel its impact through how the manga portrays the music scenes. Anonymous Noise has emotional highs, lows, and everything in between. This manga will make you feel all of the emotions. It will cut your heartstrings and it will make you exceedingly happy as well. The way that they are able to mix in comedy with the drama without taking away from one or the other is really good. This story knows exactly when the right time to joke around is and when it's the right time to just let the story unfold. This contrast between the goofy character moments and the more intense and serious moments makes this manga one that is exceedingly enjoyable to read. Even if you aren't a big fan of shoujo manga, I still recommend giving this series a read because it has a lot of elements that you can find enjoyable, like all of the band scenes for instance. This manga actually surprised me with how good it was. I liked the anime a lot back in the day, but I just never thought it was going to be good without being able to hear the music, but this series went well beyond my expectations and made the series extremely enjoyable to read through how everything was portrayed on the pages. So it is finally time to get really in depth on this manga and start talking about the main things that make it so good. But before that, it would be awesome if you could leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. I make new anime, manga, and webtoon content every single week on a variety of different series and topics. Now, as this is a shoujo manga, the character writing is of course great. All of the characters' personalities meld together really well. We get to see the relationships between the characters grow in a very natural way. Some characters grow closer together, others further apart, but everyone always remains close friends with one another throughout the story, which is also awesome. The main character Nino is someone who starts off the story as this naive, innocent girl who has a bit of trauma, so she has to wear a mask or she can't breathe. This plays a big role in her development as a character, as she starts to grow closer to people again for the first time in 6 years. As she grows closer to people, the mask becomes less and less needed throughout the story, and as we get closer to the end of the story, it really only becomes an accessory that she wears because she always has. The trauma is still there, but not as prominent. Her relationships with both music and people helped her to get out of that bad place. The two main guys, Yuzu and Momo, both are really great characters. First, let's talk about Yuzu, as I like him more. Throughout the course of the series, we get to see him growing closer to Nino through the band, and just like with Nino, this helps him slowly overcome some trauma from his past and move forward. The trauma is actually the biggest part of his character compared to the other two main characters. Overcoming this trauma makes Yuzu way more mature and a really good friend to Nino and everyone else in the series. Now onto Momo. His character, similarly to Yuzu and Nino, has trauma from his past that he has to overcome, but unlike Yuzu and Nino, a large portion of the story revolves around pushing people away and not trying to grow closer to people in fear that he will lose them again. So his development comes in the form of learning how to build meaningful connections with people who will help you in your time of need, like friends should do. The side characters in this manga are pretty good as well, especially the other bandmates. They have great development alongside the main cast, and their side relationships help to build upon and make them feel a lot more real, making the entire cast of characters really great. The characters are for sure the best part of this series, and it isn't even really close. The art in this manga is incredible. I have been waiting to talk about this because I've been mentioning it a lot, but despite the fact that you can't hear the music in this manga, the artwork really helps you to get into the right mood and makes you feel like you can hear the music. It's also really impressive how the art can shift from the very serious to more comical, and it sometimes adds chibi characters to make for some good comedy as well. The art in this manga did impress me a lot as I was reading the story. It made the whole experience way better to read than before. The paneling in this manga is solid as well. It makes it very easy to read and the story flows very nicely because of it. The paneling adds to the story as sometimes there can be a good contrast of serious and comedy on the same page without one interfering with the other in a very cool way. Anonymous Noise is a manga series that I found to absolutely love over the course of me reading it. This series had everything from great characters, an awesome story, amazing art, and some pretty good comedy and drama elements to it. Anonymous Noise is a manga that I recommend if you like music manga, but also if you just like good character-driven stories about people overcoming trauma and discovering their love and passion for something. This series will have you feeling every emotion under the sun and more throughout the course of reading this series, so give it a go if you like that sort of thing.